Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.
On June 25, Axios's Mike Allen and Jim Vondahay took readers inside Donald Trump's winning, cynical plan. They argued that the more President Trump does, says and tweets outrageous things, the more his critics go bananas and the better he does in the polls. The evidence for this was that Trump had hit 45% in Gallup's presidential approval tracker, a personal high for him, though he's since slipped back to 42%. More impressively, Trump's approval among Republicans is hovering around 90%, and special counsel Robert Mueller's disapproval among Republicans was up to 53%. It's arguably the most cynical strategy imaginable, write Allen and Vondahay. But that doesn't mean it can't be successful politically. I should say at the outset I believe Allen and Vondahay have this one wrong. I don't think Trump's poll numbers show he has found a successful political strategy, quite the opposite, in fact. But this is a difficult debate to have because it requires defining what success would look like for Trump, which means settling on some counterfactual sense of where Trump's poll numbers could and should be. Sure, 45%, or his current 42%, is higher than Trump's April low of 38%, or his all-time Gallup low, last seen in December, of 35%. But his numbers have held within a very narrow range since his inauguration. Indeed, Trump's approval has actually been the most stable of any president in polling history, as this chart from Charles Franklin shows. Charles Franklin/Gallup data. The real question, then, is whether the narrow range Trump has settled into represents success or failure. And so we need to establish a baseline. Are Trump's poll numbers high given what we might expect, or low? 3.8% unemployment and 42% approval. Is that winning? Here's another way to think about this question. Would President Marco Rubio or Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders or Mitt Romney be at 42% amidst 3.8% unemployment? I doubt it. But I also can't prove it. The strongest argument Allen and Vondahay make, in my view, is that Trump, for all his erratic behavior, is registering numbers in line with some past presidents. They note that at this point, Barack Obama was at 46%, Bill Clinton was at 46%, Ronald Reagan was at 45%, and Jimmy Carter was at 43%. This makes Trump's performance sound, if not impressive, at least normal. Rick Kern/Getty Images for Ford Motor Company. What they fail to note is that all those presidents were managing much more troubled economies than Trump. In June of their second year, the unemployment rate was at 9.4% for Obama, 6.1% for Clinton, 9.6% for Reagan, and 5.8% for Carter. And this understates how bad the economy was, given stagflation and the other after-effects of the OPEC oil embargo. And Allen and Vondahay leave out both George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. While there were foreign policy dynamics present in their presidencies that make them a tricky fit, I'm not sure they're worse comparisons than Trump's combination of peace abroad and extremely low unemployment and high stock prices at home. According to Gallup, they were at 63% and 76% approval, respectively, at this point. It must gall Trump that both Presidents Bush, given how little regard he has for their political skill, were so much more popular at this point in their terms than he is. Another way to think about this question is to look at the last time the economy was at 3.8% unemployment amid a record stock market. That was in April of 2000, when Bill Clinton registered a 59% Gallup approval rating, 17 points above where Trump is now. I wouldn't argue that's a perfect comparison by any means. Clinton's 3.8% unemployment was built atop an objectively stronger economy than Trump's, wage growth was faster, and we weren't digging out of the aftermath of a recession. But surely it's a closer comparison than the sky-high unemployment rates that Reagan and Obama dealt with in their second years. If unemployment seems like too narrow an indicator of economic health, look at consumer sentiment. The last time consumer sentiment was this high was January 2004, when Bush's approval rating was 60%. Trump's poll numbers are probably 20 points below where a president would typically be with consumer sentiment as high as it is now, says John Sides, a political scientist at George Washington University who has